This is a tutorial on how to create this creative mirror edit. The difficulty level is a 2 out of 5, and the techniques that we will use include match cut and masking. The app that I'm going to use to demonstrate is CapCut, but you could easily do this on other editing apps as well. Here are some examples of how to apply this to your niche. Pause to read, and I really encourage you to get creative with this one. As long as you have a mirror and you can mask it so that they don't overlap with each other, then you can create all kinds of really creative ideas and concepts and storytelling reels with this particular edit. Now, before I get into the full tutorial, I want to give you some pointers on how to position yourself when filming a mirror duplication edit.
So you may think that it's really easy that you should just stand in front of the mirror and put your camera behind you, and then you'll be able to get yourself and then duplicate yourself and use a mask to put both of you into one frame. But I want to show you specifically the behind the scenes of this video, because sometimes the angle can be a little tricky with a mirror, and you do want to switch it up a little bit and figure out the right angle for the type of framing that you want. If today you are trying to get an angle from behind the shoulder of this person outside of the mirror, and then the other person inside of the mirror will be here, then you can shoot from behind. But the thing to note is that if this is a conversation, you will only see the back of my head, maybe a little bit of the side of my face if you are shooting from this angle. Also, another problem is sometimes the camera may show up in the mirror and you really have to move it around to make sure that it doesn't show up in the mirror. And so in this case, it does work if you're having this type of conversation and you want to see just the back of the person's shoulder. However, for this particular reel that I'm making, I want to make sure that we can see the face of both the subjects in the mirror and outside of the mirror, which is why we have organized the setup a little bit weird, and it's very counterintuitive, and you would never really look at a mirror this way. What we did was we moved the whole table at an angle, almost 45 degrees, and I'm standing to the side here so that I can be facing the mirror at an almost 45-degree angle. And so now as I'm looking in the mirror, this is a very weird way to be talking to yourself in the mirror. However, let's take a look at the camera and look at what the framing actually looks like. You can see that this subject and this subject are both clearly in view of the main camera, and there is no overlap, so you can easily put a mask right down the middle here and just feather it a little bit, and you'll be able to see both the people. And you can also both face the camera and talk to the camera as well if that's what you prefer. For this particular video, I'm talking, the two characters are talking to each other, so they're both facing the mirror. The same thing goes with your mirror duplication videos if you are standing. Sometimes you may be standing awfully close to the mirror, which you would not normally do at all. Normally you would face the mirror and look at the mirror like this. However, this way of filming it means that you will most likely overlap with the person in the mirror, and that makes the editing a lot harder, significantly harder to make precise. And so the best way to do it is to, again, put yourself at an angle and do your duplication this way. And then you just have to move your camera around to find the perfect angle where the mirror you and the real you are not actually overlapping when you're interacting with each other. This way, this edit becomes super easy and doable on just your phone.
The clip that you'll need for this particular video is 5 outfits repeating the same motion from each person. So let's take a look at the first clip. First, you want to do the intro. So by the intro, I mean you walk in and then you start the dance or the knock on mirror movement, okay? And this movement is fairly simple, but it did take quite a while to teach my husband. So I'm going to just show you how I sort of chanted the beats so that he would know when to do what.
5, 6, 7, 8. Dun, 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 dun. Clap, up, down, knock, dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yes!
Okay, so if your husband is really good at dancing, then they'll probably get this right away. But if not, you might just need to practice it a few times because he's going to have to repeat this 5 times. So this was our first outfit that we chose. It's a black outfit. This is the second outfit. It is in white. Now, don't worry about what order you film them in because we're going to fix that in editing later. So basically, now he doesn't have to do the walk-in because you only need the walk-in for the first part, and now you just need to do the knock, knock, knock part and then complete it until the end. Okay, same as this one. Just go in and do the knock, knock, knock routine and just make sure to always do it to the beat. And what you want to do is you also want to make sure that you're knocking roughly at the same place on the mirror every single time. This is very important as we're going to have to duplicate it and combine the two people. So where you knock on the mirror does matter, and you want to try to avoid overlapping your hands. Okay, and then this is the next outfit. Again, repeating the same routine. And then this is the last one. So for the last one, we played a little creative ending here. And by that, I mean we did the same knocking motion, but at the very end, we switch places. Originally, he is in the mirror, and then after the last knock, I'm the one in the mirror, and he walks away, shrugs, and walks off. Now just repeat the process for the other person, and I chose to use matching outfits and just did the whole routine for each outfit. Okay, this is the one in orange, and then this is the one in red, and then this is the one in pink. And each time I'm trying to stay at the same place when I'm knocking with the same foot position. So you'll notice my left foot is in front and a little bit bent in every single one, and my right hand is generally by my side when I'm knocking on the mirror. So I'm trying to keep my position almost always the same. However, it was not perfect, and the reason is because I did not make a marking on the floor for where my feet should be standing, and also each time I would actually walk out of the frame without leaving the shoes there, because I actually filmed this back in 2021, and at that time I wasn't as precise, but after these years of practicing, now I know that it's very important to keep your position in the exact same place to make it be really seamless. So you can either put a little tape on the floor to mark where your feet were, or you could every single time before you leave the frame, just put down your shoes, leave them on the floor exactly where you were standing, and then when you come back, either slip back into the same shoes or bring a new pair of shoes and then replace them at the exact same spot and then put on your shoes. And then just throw the old shoes out of the frame, okay? So I'm just repeating the same stuff. And then this is the last clip. So once I finish the routine of knocking on the mirror, this is when I also act my part and look like I'm being stuck in the mirror and I'm asking him to let me out, but he walks away. Okay, so those are the 10 clips that you will need, 5 from person A, 5 from person B, each with corresponding outfits. Now let's import it into a new project inside CapCut. So when we're inputting our videos, let's do it in the order of the outfits and the corresponding outfits for each person. So we're going to start with Mr. D coming in, this part coming in, and then me coming in like this. Okay, and then we will go in and add each outfit. So we can do blue with the corresponding blue, and then we can go do orange, but let's trim it first. Looks like it's very long, so we're going to start from the last one right here, and this one. Okay, let's add that all in. And now let's also add in the audio by going to audio and extract and select the clip that you have screen recorded from Instagram. And now let's first trim the first clip to the part where he starts walking in, so maybe roughly around here, and then we will match it to the beat better as we go. So let's just take a quick listen and match it to the beat first for this first clip. Okay, let's also mute all of the clips. Looks like he starts here, and so we want that to match up. You see how the beat suddenly gets louder? We want to match it up with that part of the beat. So we want to drag it so that it's a bit longer. Okay, right here, this should correspond to this part of the music. So let's trim it just a tiny bit more. Okay, that should be good right here. And let's play it with the music. That's good. Look at his face of joy when he does it right. Okay, I'm going to trim it right here and delete the rest. And now we're going to do the same for me. Let's split the front part because we know we likely won't need that. Let's move this to the top layer by going to overlay and drag it all the way to the front. And what we're going to do is also match it to the beat. Okay, definitely need to move it more. That's perfect. So that already matches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to blend and reduce the opacity so we can see where we want to place our mask. So for this scene, he is in the mirror and I am outside of the mirror. So let's go in and put a mask to the part where we first knock, and we want to make sure we don't overlap. So right here, let's go into mask and let's choose horizontal, and let's go and turn it vertical, and you want to put the mask right where the hands are knocking, but don't overlap. Kind of like with this. Right there. Okay, now let's take a look at that first, and let's also go back into blend and make it 100% so we can see. Okay, so now you've already combined the two clips. That looks pretty good. And what you can also do if you want is notice how in the beginning this mask is creating a little line where the mask is. Let me show you. So let's show the mask. So this mask, there is a bit of a difference in the lighting. So what you can do is you can add a keyframe for the beginning part, and then you can add a keyframe to the part where the hand's about to meet. And then what you can do here is go in and increase the feather so that you can sort of blur the line between the two masks, the two layers, So then let's just make sure we're not blurring anything out, so that the difference between the colors of my layer and his layer is less obvious. It's blurred out by the feather of the mask, but because we have a keyframe here, and the keyframe ends here where there is no feather for the mask, you won't actually affect the hand when we are knocking, because imagine if you had a feather here on the mask, it would blur out your hands and it won't look natural at all. Okay, so neat little trick to make the two layers blend in really well, and yet when you're knocking it doesn't look feathery. Okay, now we have this part down. I think we're going to change outfits with the first knock. So we trim it right here when the hands meet the mirror, split, and we don't want to delete anything because we need these clips for other parts. So I'm just going to reference my original reel. I did blue, pink, orange, black, white. So we're going to do it in this order, okay? So let's go and find blue, and let's trim it right to the part where he knocks on the mirror the first time, right here. And let's split it there and delete the first part. And let's also trim this. Okay, and then we're gonna go find me, where I knock on the mirror right here. So we split it, delete the beginning part, and then let's put this as an overlay. And we move it forward. Actually, what we want to do is move it to so that it is right after the first clip. Okay? So let's attach it to the end of the first clip. And let's do the same with this one. There we go. So we're going to go back in and put in a mask just like we did before. You're going to notice that this is just a very repetitive process as I demonstrate this for you. Okay, and then let's just move the mask to the part where our hands don't overlap, right there. That's looking good. Okay. Okay, so this is the first knock. And we want to trim it right away the moment our hands meet again on the mirror. We might need to zoom in a bit for this. Split, and then of course go to the overlay and split that as well. And then move this back. The next outfit is pink, I believe. So let's go in and find the part where he's knocking. Right here. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, where you trim the knocking, because ultimately it's like a split second. You just see him knocking anyway. So you just have to find a spot where he is knock right here. Split that and delete. Delete the beginning part. Knock, knock right here. Split that again. Reorder this clip. Move it to be after the blue. Okay? Now we do the same with the pink for me, right here. Split, delete, find the second knock, split, and then move this forward, and then make it an overlay. Okay, and let's just go in and make sure it's in the right place. We want to move this backwards, move this upwards so that it connects to the last clip. Alrighty, trim it so they're the same length. Okay, right there. Okay, and again, let's add the mask. Right there, I think that looks good. And then we'll continue to the next outfit, which is orange. Take this clip, move it to the front, find me in orange, find the part that we want to use, split, split, move it forward, and make it an overlay. Move this up and trim it so that they match exactly. Add a mask. And then we have to do it for the black. Now that we're onto the last outfit, which is the white outfit, we want to find the part where they finish knocking. You want to zoom in on the timeline, find the last knock right before he does the hand gesture. So right here, split it, and he's gonna do this clap hand gesture, and then knock, knock on his hands, and then right when he knocks on the mirror again is where we split, because that's when we're gonna change the outfit again. And I'm just going to go in and find the same part here. So knock, 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 knock right here. Split, and then do the hand gesture, fist bump, and then knock. Right, split again right here. Alrighty, let's zoom out a bit. Now let's take this Now let's take this white outfit, bring it forward to right here, and then do the same for this one. Move it forward. Bring this to the overlay and nudge it in here. Alrighty. And let's make the duration the same. Okay. Let's play that from the beginning and make sure the first part is working well. So I noticed that I forgot to add a mask to this white outfit. So let's go do that right now. That should fix it. Again, what you can do is you might want to feather this part because this clip is longer. So you're going to see, you see the color difference between the two layers. So the moment the hand leaves the mirror, I'm going to add a keyframe. And I'm going to add a keyframe where it's knocking. And then also I'm going to do the same at the end. And add a keyframe right when the hands are leaving. Okay. And now I'm going to go into the mask and add a little feather like I did before. Like this. Just make sure you don't feather it too much. Okay, looks good. Let's check this one. Okay. We might need to add a bit more. Okay. Now look how the layers just sort of blend in together because of the feathers. So much better. And yet when your hands overlap and knock on each other, it won't look like it got feathered out. So let's take a quick look. So now the next step is going in and duplicating these parts. So we have black, orange, white, blue, pink, and then the pink is going to do the hand gesture, and then we're going to repeat that one more time. The orange is going to do the hand gesture, and then knock, 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 and we're going to end in the blue. Okay, so this next part really is just a lot of duplication. So I'm going to go in and do that manually. So let's go in and duplicate black, duplicate, and move this so that it comes after the white clip. Duplicate this, duplicate this. Okay, and then move them all to the right place. Black, orange, blue. Move this forward. Move it in here. Move all this forward. Now what we have to do is go and find the white part where it's knocking, because here you see we don't have that. We have blue, we have pink, orange, black, and then white is doing the hand gesture. So we need to go in and find a split second clip where it's knocking. Okay, so we can do that actually really simply by just adjusting the clip here. So we can move these forward like this, and then let's just adjust the clip forward. So first knock, split it right here. Okay, and let's move this to where it's supposed to be. Right? And then let's do the same for this one. Drag it, and let's trim it right here. And okay, and then we also need to duplicate these. So duplicate this one. Okay, now let's move them into their relative spots. Okay, now let's make sure the colors are matching. So we have blue, pink, orange, black, and then white. And then we have, I believe it's black, orange, white, blue, pink. Black, okay. So now we have black, orange, white, blue, pink, and it's all matched up. And now what we have to do actually is to drag this pink part to the part where we're doing the hand gestures, because we gotta continue that part. Because as you see here, is the next person, the next outfit doing the hand gesture is the pink outfit. Okay, so let's find the part where it's the last knock right here. Split that and delete the rest. And then trim it right to the part, expand it first, and trim it right to the part where his hand touches the mirror one more time, right here. Split and delete. Let's move this blue further back in the timeline so it doesn't confuse you. Let's also delete some of these unnecessary parts. We can actually delete all the rest of these. Just remove them all. We don't need these. Okay. And also these overlays we do not need. Okay. Now let's do the same for me in pink. We gotta drag it all the way, and we gotta find the part where I start doing the hand gesture, which is right here. Split, delete, move it forward. Let's just make sure the movements are the same. Okay. Okay. I think that should be good. So let's take a look from the beginning. Again, I want to go in and fix the color difference between the two layers by adding keyframes and adding a feather. Okay, much better. All right. So now we have the first two parts. We just need to keep repeating this process until we have all of them. Again, we just need to go in and find these various colors and duplicate them. Now again, we do the same thing here. We want to find the part where the orange does the hand gesture. Now same thing here with the orange. We want to find the part where she does the hand gesture right here. Is it right here? Split, delete the beginning, attaches to the end, and then drag it out so that it's the same length. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, great. Okay, now we have the layer with me matched up in the right color and the right beat. Now what we're going to do is just match the blue part. So let's find the part where it ends, which is right here. Split, delete, and move it forward. Right here. And then now what we want to do actually, you see how I'm still outside the mirror. What we want to do here is just we want to switch up the mask so that I'm actually inside the mirror. It's so easy. All you have to do is go in and just switch the mask 180 degrees like this. So let's find the spot like roughly here. That looks good. And what I'm going to do again is add a keyframe here, right here, and then add another keyframe to feather this mask. Okay. And now that looks really good and smooth. Okay, and the music ends right here. So we split it, delete it, split this, and delete. And that is the full clip. Let's also go in and trim the music as well. Split, delete. And one thing I want to sort of add as a little trick, because you see how when you knock, the different colors between the layers is quite obvious. So what you can do is you can find a spot where you think it looks good. Let's say it's this spot right here. This looks nice. Let's go in and freeze this frame, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the top layer, overlay, and we're going to drag it all the way to the beginning and have it last throughout the duration of this entire clip like this. And then now you're going to be like, oh my God, what is going on? This is not right. It's all frozen. Well, that is right because we have it on the top layer. And what we want to do is we want to go in and add a mask, horizontal, and just bring it up to roughly, let's say here, and feather it a little bit, like maybe right here. So now the purpose of this is so that you have a still layer at the top of your frame, only affecting the ceiling part so that it stays constant and the color should not change. But we do need to make sure that with each overlay, it is layered at the top, because if it's not layered at the top, then it won't be on top of the existing layer. So you just have to go in and check it all. Let's take a look. Okay, now for example, this is on the bottom layer. You need to move that still layer that we just made with the mask to the top. Again, this also good, that's good. Bring this to the top. Honestly, I am confused why it's this way. I feel like it should just naturally be overlaid on top if you added it last, but this is how the layers works in CapCut, so you just have to go in and check it all. Great. So now let's play it again. You'll notice that the ceiling looks a lot more smooth. You won't really see or notice the difference between the colors, the different colors of the layers, and it's going to look much better. That's great. If you want to, you could even just go in and change the mask even more. Maybe you want to have it at an angle like this, maybe. Just enough so that it doesn't fade into the person. Maybe here. But now you know, if you don't have the feather be feathered enough, it will look like this. So let's not do that. Let's bring back the feather. Make sure it's feathered enough, but not so much that you'll see the person's head. Okay, that is much better. So I'm just gonna triple check throughout, make sure there's no weird feathering moments. Okay, that looks good. Now all you have to do is export this at 1080p. Okay, upon reviewing the clip, I noticed that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and these last two have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I accidentally added one extra. So we're gonna have to just go in and remove those and adjust the length of it as necessary. Let's move this. And also, let's drag this forward. And let's play that. This is not matching up somehow. Okay, there was a little glitchy feeling because look at this. If you move it along the timeline, there's just a split moment here where we're missing a frame. So we need to move that forward. Okay, now it's moving at the right pace. Move this forward. Okay, great. So now let's play it over again. Okay, and let's trim this, and that looks good. Now let's export it one last time, the correct version.